February the 27th, 2026. Guys, I won't make this video long because it's been several videos, just to the point if I can, because in the last video we were looking at, in one section, a map that showed Israel lit up in red along with the West Bank. We were talking about the different proxies of Iran that was all around them at that point. And what would happen? Would they be part of that surge if the Ayatollahs or Iran was attacked too hard and they decided to push that button, the red line button that we talked about, where they would attack every target at one time with everything they had? Well, what has happened is Israel is not stupid. Regardless of what anything else people think about them, they attacked preemptively, which you should do. If you know you're going to be attacked, what happened first thing this morning? The Jerusalem embassy was ordered to be evacuated except for essential personnel, and as many people to get out on as many flights as they could. Then we saw that extend out. And so the reason is because they knew that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, were going to do this. They knew that, and this would bring retaliation. So it's an attack, kind of a simultaneous attack from the U.S. and Israel on the forces coming in. And people say that, this is not the Magog or Gog-Magog war, and I'm not saying it is for sure. But when you start seeing the hillsides like this and talk about things like Mount Carmel melting, then it's time to wake up. It's time to be aware. I'm not a date setter at all, but I look for signs, not to be looking, but when they're thrown in your face, I'm not going to ignore it, and neither should you. So as a war with Iran nears, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Taliban in Afghanistan are targets of attack. Think about this. It's spreading throughout the entire territory, basically, of what we talked about in the Old Testament. The war with Iran appears near, then suddenly two terrorist regimes are bombed. Why? Because they are a part of the Iranian proxies. Any fool would know that they're going to come in with everything they got. Are you going to sit there and let them tear you up? Or are you going to go out there and make them as weak as possible? Exactly. Again, it's saying as the war with Iran appears near. Look at the early reports today coming in. I'll call that very near, by the way. So it says the war with Iran appears near, then suddenly two terrorist regimes are bombed. Taliban in Afghanistan and Hezbollah in Lebanon. This was not unexpected with the war with Iran heating up. Hezbollah was a satellite entity built with the help of Iran. Of course it was. Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas. Along with Hamas and the Houthis in Yemen, were built by Iran and would be expected to support Iran in any conflict with the U.S. or Israel. Hamas in Gaza is no longer a threat. And a lot of people lost their lives in that conflict. Guys, I'm not pro-war by any means. I'm reporting what I'm finding out and telling you the best I can. So don't attack me for being a Zionist or anti-this or anti-that. This is the real world, and this is what's happening. And by the way, I'm not a Zionist. I believe in the U.S. taking care of home. Anyway, Hezbollah had tight relations with Maduro regime in Venezuela. These related entities have been decimated since Trump's second term in office and were responsible for massive bloodshed and abuse for decades. Guys, and then you think about all the billions and trillions of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars as prices go up that are being stolen by Cuba, Russia, Somalia, and the Democrats, and probably some rhinos. It says the skies of Lebanon are lit up. This is breaking. The Israeli Air Force is striking Hezbollah weapons storage sites right now, a calculated move to eliminate as many rockets as possible before the next phase begins. It's a chess move. It's a game of war. And so if you ask me, Iran knew it was coming. All their proxies knew it. All the H's, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, the triple H's, we'll call that. They knew it. Everybody knew it. 15 nations told everybody to evacuate today. We saw what was going on. So why would they not strike first? Maybe it's because a lot of the damage had been done in Iran, in Tehran, and all the sites I showed you in that map today, and it's been going on really for a couple of weeks. Maybe that has weakened their positions and their intelligence communication. You understand what I'm saying? And because the fact that they knew it was going to happen, they're getting hit now. And don't think that the IDF did not know where they were at. It's just like the U.S., via satellite technology, knew exactly where Maduro was. And as I said, guys, this isn't random. This is preemption. If the U.S. escalates against Iran, Hezbollah is expected to respond by unleashing rockets on northern Israel. Happens all the time. Israel isn't waiting. They're dismantling launch capacity before it can be used. This is the chessboard shifting in real time. That's what I'm saying, guys. Mainstream, maybe before daylight, they will look into this, or maybe they've been told to stand down. There are probably some reports coming through now, but there's a way to look into that area, guys. You got the Middle East reports and things like that. Different newspapers, different sources of information. And some U.S. outlets that are very conservative are starting to notice it also. Now, it's 7:17 p.m. here in central Mississippi tonight, and so it's just about the opposite. It's getting daylighter if it's not daylight there in the Middle East. And they're talking about every weapons depot destroyed tonight reduces the volume of rockets that could rain down tomorrow. The message is clear. If war expands, Israel intends to blunt the retaliation before it starts. Guys, you remember that verse? I can't remember exactly which one it is. Somebody put it in the comments. It says, but it's more or less that lion roars out of Judah, out of Zion, when this war starts. And all hell breaks loose. And they were talking about Mount Carmel melting again during this episode. So this generation shall not pass without seeing these things come true. And many people believe that. They think that we are that branch. We are that last generation. And I'm not talking about just a branch of Israel. I'm talking about a branch of the teachings of our Father and of Jesus Christ, of Yeshua, of Emmanuel. And he's the one that was telling the disciples these times, these signs of wars and rumors of wars, things like that. It was Christ. And so we're looking at that, and we're very close. Again, I'm not saying this is the exact moment of that, but it sure looks like trouble coming to me. And if we look at this also coming in from the Middle East, guys, that's what I'm saying. It's just not one or two or three nations we're dealing with. This is something we've got to watch. It says the Taliban's top commander, Hamid Khorasanan, who had been issuing threats of suicide bombings in Pakistan, has been killed at the Kabul Taliban Military Brigade headquarters. This brigade headquarters was known for training suicide bombers. And think about it again, you've got Pakistan, I guess Afghanistan, and Israel and the U.S. is dealing with some of the same problems and that they are dealing with here. You've got Hezbollah, Hamas, and all that involved with this. And the Taliban, so you've got a bunch of ISIS fighters that were just released from some prison over there too. And so it's a multi-stage event happening. And let's pray for people's lives. And, you can pray if it's designed by our Father to end up into an Ezekiel 38 event, then so be it. But you've got to be prepared for that and the repercussions from it. And like I said in a video a few days ago, whenever the Gog-Magog war starts, It's going to end, and then it's going to take 7 years for Israel to clean up the debris. 7 months to bury the bodies. 7 years to burn the weapons, basically. And then, is that the 7 years of tribulation that ends with Armageddon? We don't know. I don't know. I don't know times like that. I mean, we get some information about it, but the worst thing you can do is put a time set on something biblical. What did Christ say? He said, only our Father knows. So I'm not going to do it because it makes you look like a fool when it's over with, and enough people are doing that without any help. But we're watching it, guys. Just a quick update to let you know that that fire in the Middle East is burning very fast right now. Heads up, be safe.